Hello, 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 dear friend. How are you today? Well, I hope you're doing great. If it's your first time visiting my channel, I am so thrilled that you're here. It's an honor to have you on my channel. Um, I'm going to introduce myself. My name is Olivia Hall. I'm a Christian wife. I am a coach. I'm an author. I am the founder of Peaceable Woman. And I am so glad you're here. My goal is to make you feel seen, make you feel supported, and make you feel understood, right? So know that you're not alone. I am so glad you're here. Before we get into today's lesson or whatever we're going to talk about today, I always like to ask that you would subscribe, that you would like, that you would share, that you would comment, that you would do all of the things so this channel can grow so that um, together we can build a community of women who are like-minded, who are on this neurodiverse marriage journey. And a journey it is. Wouldn't you agree, right? So it is so important. It is my heart. I don't want you just to, you know, get by in your marriage. I don't want you just to thrive in your marriage, dear sister. I want you to have a fulfilling marriage, right? And I think, you know what? I'm going to say it again because I feel like I missed something. So let me say it again. I don't want you just to get by in your marriage. I don't want you just to survive in your marriage. I want you to thrive in your marriage. There we go. I think I said it right. That is from my heart, and that is my hope and my wish for you. So, as we're going to talk today, we're going to talk about something um, that's important. We're going to talk about setting boundaries. And if you've ever felt guilty for setting boundaries, um, or scared that you're being too harsh, right? This video is for you. So let's get started, okay? You know what? Boundaries aren't just helpful. They're absolutely necessary. Absolutely unequivocally necessary. So let's talk about why boundaries aren't mean. They're a lifeline. Yes, they are. Yes, they are. Okay. So many women believe that, if I set a boundary, he'll feel rejected, he won't understand it, he'll have a meltdown. So what happens? You just don't set any because you don't want to have to deal with maybe he's going to feel rejected. He's not going to understand. He's going to have a meltdown. I just don't want to deal with it. So I'm not going to set any boundaries at all. And then resentment starts to build in you. So if you don't set boundaries, you're going to start to build resentment. And, in the very beginning, that's my prayer. I'm like, I didn't want to build resentment. And I soon learned later that I needed to set boundaries. So not only that, because you don't set boundaries, you can build up resentment. Um, Exhaustion comes with that, right? And emotional burnout. It's like, I'm done. Those are the days or the moments you say, I'm not doing this anymore. I don't have to deal with this. I'm tired. I'm not going to keep dealing with this, right? You know what? I'm going to go to Google and look for a divorce attorney. I think I have to find like an apartment or a new house. I'm sorry, I'm being silly. But if you don't set boundaries, this is where your train of thought can go, right? This This is where your heart goes. This is where your soul goes. Resentment, exhaustion, and then you're totally emotionally burned out, and then you're done. Okay. The truth is, dear friend, dear sister, boundaries aren't about controlling him. They're about protecting you. I'm going to say it again. Boundaries are not about controlling your husband. It's about protecting you, dear friend. It's about protecting your sanity, your soul, and your sense of safety. That's what boundaries do for you. Okay. Really, really, really quick. If you're enjoying this video, I would love, love, love for you to subscribe. We are building a community of women where we can help each other really build and change our lives as well as our marriages. So please, please, please subscribe and join our family today. So, I used to think that being a good wife meant, being available all the time. I'm always around, although I was a very busy woman at the very beginning, the first several um, years of my marriage, very busy, very, very busy, right? But I did my best to be available when I could. But the more I said yes, the more invisible I felt, right? And until I learned to say, that doesn't work for me, honey. That's not going to work for me. That doesn't work for me. In the right tone, of course. Until I learned to say that, um, and it was a little off-putting. It was a little scary for me early on in my marriage. Like I said, I'm an introvert. I'm one of these calm, laid-back women. I don't like a bunch of kerfuffle. I don't like extra drama. I'm not the one that likes to get into an argument, a fight. Um, I have family members who are so funny, but they're the kind that, they're here for it, what they're ready for. If you want to go, let's go. What you got to say, and then it's on, right? You have some of those family members who are ready to let's get into it. That's not me. It's too much, So when I did this and set my first boundary, right, and I learned to say, honey, this is not working for me, in a kind way, right, and it when I did it, it was very freeing. It sort of set me free, right? Because boundaries didn't push us apart. Here's the thing, write it down. They gave us both breathing room. Boundaries didn't push my husband and I apart. It just gave us breathing room, right? Is this an aha moment for you? If so, write it in the chat. If you never thought about setting boundaries and what it could do for you, put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. And let me know if you haven't done this, right? If you haven't set a boundary, if you haven't learned to say something like that doesn't work for me, put it in the chat and put if you're planning on setting a boundary, okay? All right. So we're going to keep going. Let's talk about three kinds of boundaries every neurodiverse wife. No, you're not neurodiverse, you're neurotypical. So every NT, neurotypical wife in a neurodiverse marriage needs. So basically, we're going to talk about three kind of boundaries that you need um, as a wife married to a man on the autism spectrum. Maybe that's clearer. I hope so. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so I was going to take a sip. Number one, time boundaries. I need 1 hour a day to be alone and not problem solve. Okay. You need 1 hour And you need to share this with him. These boundaries you need to communicate with him in a very calm, very matter of fact way. Remember, direct communication. So be blunt as you need to be. That's what he needs, right? But you want to say it in a nice tone, right? You want to stay friends, right? Yes. Okay. Number two, emotional boundaries. Okay. So first we talked about a time boundary that you need to set, that you don't have to problem solve, that you can be alone. And just in general, right? Particularly if you're a working woman, whether you have children or not, you just need time to decompress. You need your own self-care, me time, and not to have to worry about, oh, what's happened over here. Oh, I need to do this. I need to do that tomorrow. You need a time to breathe. Okay. So that's the first one. Number two, emotional boundaries. When you dismiss my feelings, this is what you're going to tell your spouse. I'll pause the conversation and revisit it later. So you're telling him, when you dismiss my feelings, how I'm feeling, you know what? I'm just going to we're just going to stop the conversation here, and I'm going to come back later. We'll revisit it at another time because I don't feel like, you know, you're taking me seriously or you're understanding me. So something's going to jump off with me. I'm not going to, something's going to go wrong. So guess what? Just going to not shut down, but you know what, honey? Um, we'll come back and let's talk about this later. Okay? All right. Number three, you're going to set safety boundaries. So first we set time boundaries. Number two, we set emotional boundaries. Number three, we set safety boundaries. So if yelling starts, I will remove myself until calm is restored. If yelling starts, I will remove myself until calm is restored. Yes, I will. And again, you're going to share all of these with your husband. Okay. Boundaries, they should be clear, number one. They should be kind and consistent. Okay. Yeah. They should be clear, kind, and consistent, not explained 10 times, not bargained over. It's not up for debate. No, no. These are the boundaries that you're setting for yourself, for your sanity, for your safety, for your own protection, for your own mental health, right? Yes, ma'am. Okay. And yes, it might feel awkward in the beginning. It might be misunderstood at first, but, it's not your job to manage his emotions. It's not. It's not your job to manage his emotions about the boundaries that you've set, the limits that you've placed, right? For yourself. It's your job to honor your own needs. That's your job, dear sister. Exactly. Okay, do me a favor, grab a piece of paper, um, and write this at the top. Okay. Um, you ready? Yes. 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 Okay. Here we go. Right at the top of the page. My energy is sacred. What drains me the most right now, okay? And then write one boundary you need to feel safe and sane again. Write one boundary you need to feel safe and sane again, okay? Say it out loud. practice it, post it somewhere because your limits matter. Okay. So again, you're going to write on your top of your page, my energy is sacred. What drains me the most right now is blah, 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 blah. You're going to say it out loud, you're going to practice it, and you're going to post it somewhere because your limits and your boundaries absolutely matter. Okay. Try it out. Try it out. I always like to find out if, as I share some of these things, if, like I'd love to hear your response. Put it in the comment like, okay, I'm going to try this. I'm going to see how it works for me, or if it doesn't, you know. But really, as I share these tools with you, really try them. Really, really, really try them. Um, I believe it will change you and it will change your marriage. Okay. So as I conclude, as we come to the end of this particular video, I want to share with you that boundaries aren't walls, right? They're bridges. Isn't that wonderful? I love that. Boundaries, they're not walls, they're walls, they're bridges. Um, they're how we stop enabling dysfunction, right? And start building real connection. And that's what my channel is all about. That's what my new program, my new system called Frazzled to Fulfilled is all about, right? So if you want step-by-step support, okay, dear sister, you're ready for this at this point in your life. You know this is something you need. If you'd like, you want more communication scripts or you want coaching that really is I'm sorry, you want coaching that really fits this unique marriage that you find yourself in, then join me in Frazzled to Fulfilled, building an emotional connection with your autistic husband. Okay. The link to that course, it will be found. It's right below. It's right in the description. So if you're ready, if you're ready right now, click that link and you can get started. You can get started today. I want to thank you for walking through this video series with me. It's been challenging for me. Um, I'll share a little secret. I was a little fearful about starting a YouTube channel and most of all, showing my face on camera, sharing some of this with you to the world. But I made it through. Yay. Um, and so thank you for being here with me. Your heart matters. I want you to know that. You matter to me. You are a sister right along with me on this journey. I've been married for 25 plus years, but my husband and I, we're better than ever. We're learning more about each other, not just me about him, but he's starting to learn about me in my neurotypical world as I'm continuing to learn about his neurodivergent or autistic world, right? So we're doing this thing together with God in the mix, directing us right. So I want you to have a sacred story of fulfilling marriage. I want you to know that your voice matters. And I want you to stay strong, stay kind, and I'll see you in the next set of videos. Much love.